You first need to log into Netsuite by going to www.netsuite.com. There you click on the login link, and it will take you to the login page where you will put in your corporate email address, and I'm putting mine in, as well as your password. Your password will be distributed to you upon go live, or if you're a new employee, from finance and accounting as part of the onboarding process. After logging into NetSuite, you will be presented with the Employee Center homepage. One note, most employees' access is limited to expense reports and eventually time tracking, and therefore the only role you would have is Employee Center. If, however, you are a finance and accounting user or a business development person, you may have additional access to NetSuite where you'd have to change your role to the Employee Center to access the expense report. You can change your role by hitting the drop-down here, and you will see a list of all available roles. Select the Employee Center role to get to this screen. But again, for most users, this will be the only role you have, and this screen will automatically appear. Once on the Employee Center screen, you click on the Enter Expense Reports link. After selecting the expense report link, the expense report header is displayed. You can enter a purpose for your expense report. The purpose should be meaningful for the approver as well as finance and accounting to describe the report. For example, weekly expenses, business development trip to Arizona, or annual user conference. The date will default to today's date. It can be changed. And then on the line screen, you'll actually put in your expense receipt information. The reference number defaults automatically. You change the date to the date of the actual expense receipt. So in this case, the 21st. Select your category from the category drop-down list of what this expense receipt is about. This one is particularly about airfare. Enter the amount. Put in a memo. This is not a required field. However, you can put one in to describe what the expense is. Enter your department and enter a location. If this happens to be a billable expense, something that you're going to bill back to the customer, you would also enter a customer project code here and click on the billable flag. After you enter your line, press the Add button, and the new line will appear. For this line, I'm going to put in my meals. And I'm going to add that line. If you have a similar set of values on a previous line, you can actually hit the copy previous when you're entering the new line, and it will copy all the information down. This could be quite useful so you don't have to re-enter the department and the location again and again, and you can just change the appropriate fields. After you've added all your expense report receipt lines, you are now ready to attach your receipts. You can do so of one of two places. If you have a file for each individual line item, you may attach the file here in the Attach File section for the line. Or you may attach them at the header level by clicking on the Communication tab, going to Files, and here's the Attach File screen. You can attach many files here, or one file if all your receipts are scanned into one file document, like a PDF. When I go to attach a file, I'm going to select New because I want to attach a new file. And this window appears. Here I'm going to say I'm going to attach a file from my computer because it's on my computer. It's in a folder called Expense Report Receipts. This is where you're going to put the file in NetSuite, not where it is on your hard drive. The first time you have to come here to actually select Expense Report Receipts, you do by hitting the drop-down, selecting List, and scrolling down and finding the Expense Report Receipts folder. Once you do this once, it will remember this folder for you for future times. You don't need to redo this step. Then you need to browse for your receipts on your hard drive and attach it. You also want to give the file a unique name. So Hobler Expense Receipts 7/20, 2014. Be careful not to give your receipt files the same name because it will overwrite if they are there. So make sure you give a unique name so it saves the files in NetSuite. After you hit the Save button, the file will be associated with your expense report. You still need to hit the Add button to make sure that it's logged in, and you're done. You can now either hit the Complete Later button in case you want to come back to this expense report and add additional items to it, or you can submit it. One final note, if you need to make changes to any of the expense receipt lines, you just click on the line, and you can come in and modify any of the fields. So if I put in the wrong amount for the airfare, I can change the amount, hit Done, and it resaves the line. You can also remove it or make additional copies in this way. I'm now going to submit the expense report, and it has now gone to the expense report approver and then eventually finance and accounting, where it will be reviewed, approved, and reimbursed. You'll get an email if your expense report has been approved. You'll also get an email if it has been rejected and you need to edit it. To go back to the main screen, click on the Employee Center up in the upper left-hand corner, and you're back on your main screen where you can enter an additional expense report, approve expense reports if you're an expense report approver, or view and edit expense reports if you need to see the ones you previously did. If you have any additional questions, please contact Finance and Accounting, and they'll be glad to fill in any additional details. Thank you very much.